Hi, welcome to a new vlog.
Do you guys want to see our secret lair?
Don't show them this.
I'm showing them.
Embarrassing. It's
it's our it's
our,
in the island.
Throw stuff in this. Anyway.
Yeah.
We have our Disney mugs. We're pretending we're in Disney today because we were supposed to be in Disney today.
Although, you know what? Best decision ever to cancel because it just wasn't worth it yet.
So we ended up
maybe in the
canceling
fall
like a week ago. And
oh, the Halloween. Oh,
the Halloween one.
Do we still have that?
Oh,
you already pulled it out. The popcorn bucket.
Oh, they're downstairs. That's why.
Okay, well that's fine.
Okay.
Look at this popcorn bucket. We got. I'm not even a big fan. It's so salty, the popcorn in parks. But we honestly got it just for this cute bucket to take home because we knew Gigi would like.
Is this the Halloween one or is this?
Wait, is it? No.
Just normal.
No,
It
it's
just has
normal.
The hitchhiking.
I feel like this is a mistake though. Look how dark it is there. Like I feel like it was supposed to be a little lighter. Like you can barely. I just love it. Anyway,
So we were supposed to be in Walt Disney World today, and like a week ago, we kept waiting, like hoping cases would go down, and they did not. So we ended up canceling our trip to Disney last minute, but we were supposed to be there right now, and we're like, we're gonna have a Disney day at home, and so we're getting out our mugs. Goodness gracious, Tyler.
line.
He's asked for a line, like in a play. So we're getting out our resort mugs, and we're gonna go to the pool because we have a pool in our neighborhood that we never ever go to.
You swim in it like Rex does,
yeah.
but we never as a family go.
So as part of our Disney day, we looked up on YouTube the resort TV thing they have on. Like when you very first turn the TV on, and it just comes to this channel. There's a ton of them on YouTube.
And we muted it, but there's of course like Disney music, and it's so. If you've been to Disney, it's totally like puts you in the Disney mindset.
It's ridiculous. I love it so much.
We're geeking out.
I was
man.
like, oh, I wonder if we can do that, just because, like, yeah, I've done it before.
I've looked it up.
So we're having a Walt Disney World day at home.
And it's going to be so fun. And Gigi has no idea how excited she's going to be to go to the pool. Also, this Halloween one is pretty awesome.
We must be staying at Bay Lake Tower because we can see the castle from our room.
Oh my gosh, what a nice room. Wow. Also, the castle doesn't look like that. Now it's like pink.
I know. Yeah.
Side note, I actually like the new castle
I think
colors.
It does look nice. I wasn't sure, but after looking at some of the pictures, I think it looks
I think it's
nice.
pretty. And you know what? They got a team of geniuses working on this stuff. So
Very true.
also, I look crazy. Shameless plug, I went on a run. My hair really is crazy, you guys. Which is perfect because I'm like, if we're going to go to the pool, like if I had just showered, I'm like, ooh, I need to shower. We'll go to the pool. That will be my shower. I'm just kidding. But like there's that mentality of like, well, I don't want to have makeup on. And so I'm like, perfect. I've already sunblocked for my run and I have no makeup on. It's perfect pool day. What are you doing? Are you cooking? Mm-hmm. I put your hair up. What's going on there? What happened to your hair? What happened to your hair tie, Gigi? Can I have a bite of egg? Thank you. Thank you. So we were at the pool and we left once we saw the storm brewing. Look at this. Oh my gosh.
Ducks.
Ducks. Dukes. Ducks. Ducks. Yeah, that's Dukes. Yep. Well, happy Sunday morning. Tyler made some eggs. And are these
Jalapeno.
from your garden? Mm-hmm. The house smells incredible.
I just seasoned it.
Oh,
and,
yum. So it's not
capsaicin stuff out in the middle, so it's just a little bit of heat, just a little bit of flavor.
Yum. Thanks for breakfast, baby. Mm-hmm. We've got apparently a little 1-year-old who's 2 but deciding to crawl. Oh boy. Also, we finally got a second car seat for our other car. We would always just kind of switch it back and forth when we needed to. And we're like, you know what? This is silly. And this is the kind of car seat that she'll use for years. Are you cleaning up? Oh, good job cleaning. Thank you. Good. Gigi, how old are you? Yeah. No, say 2. 2. What's your name? Yeah. No, say Gigi. What's your name? Good job.
So a couple of weeks ago, I brought this up, and you know how life gets in the way, and I haven't gotten to it yet. But these arborvitae here, they all died in these pots here. Apparently, they don't do well in pots, which is something I've learned. So we bought these fake plants, and I'm going to try and put them in here now and kind of rearrange this area here a little bit. So here's a little before picture. All right, the fake plants are in. They look pretty good. They're gonna fall over. I just have I have dirt in the bottom of these, and I'll have to get like pea gravel or something to put them in around the edge here, around the top, so that they can, stay straight there. But I think they look all right. They certainly look a lot better than the dead trees that were there. That's for darn sure. So now that we're getting into midsummer here in July, I guess it's not even really midsummer, but now that it's getting really hot and we're kind of in the middle of summer, I'm going to start pulling some of this stuff out. Obviously, I've talked about how the broccoli and the cauliflower, that bolted, it did not do very well. So I'm going to pull that out. I'm going to go ahead and pull the peas out here because it's too hot for them. I actually got a lot of peas in the last vlog you guys probably saw, but I'm surprised that I got any. But I'm going to go ahead and pull those out, and that'll also help with airflow here into the tomatoes back here as well. And sometimes tomatoes will rot. They'll get a little bit if they have too much moisture, so that'll help airflow through there, which will be great. So I'll pull those out. I'm going to pull the broccoli and cauliflower out. I'm going to thin out my carrots here, and then all of my lettuce here I'm going to pull out as well because it's all way too big, and it's gotten so like you can see, it's about to flower here, so it's getting bitter and all that kind of stuff. So the kale back there is doing okay. I might leave that a little while longer, but everything else is going to come out here. But just because I'm pulling this out doesn't mean that I'm just going to leave it open. And as a matter of fact, you don't usually want to leave a bunch of open space because that'll invite weeds and all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to pull this out, and I'm actually going to plant some more green beans because green beans are one of the quickest growing things. They only take about 2 months to grow. And then once I harvest the green beans, it'll look like this here. But here, once I do that, I'm going to pull those out and then actually plant the broccoli and cauliflower and probably the peas again later, close to fall, because those all do well in cool weather. Same with the this over here. So I'm going to basically use the space for 2 months to try and get some more stuff out of it. There are certain things that grow rather quickly, but a lot of them are things like salads, which when it's too hot, they just don't grow very well. So I'm going to plant green beans here, get as many of those as I can, and then in about 2 months, once I harvest all those, I'll pull them back out and then plant the broccoli and cauliflower and the peas and the lettuce again for a fall harvest. So even though I'm using these up, I'm going to get a lot of use out of the space here throughout the one growing season. I can basically grow stuff from like February starting with seeds, and then all the way through hopefully even November for these cool weather crops. So hopefully I'll get a long growing season out of all this space here. I also wanted to show you, I'm starting to get some cucumbers in, so I pulled some of the bigger cucumbers off, and I think we'll eat some today, but I also want to pickle them because I love pickles. Also, anybody else think that it's funny that we call pickles pickles, and we pickle all kinds of stuff, but we only call pickles pickles? Like cucumber pickles pickles? We don't call pickled radishes pickles. You can pickle anything, but we only call pickles pickles. This has been Deep Thoughts with Tyler Braun. So I've pulled out the peas that were there, so those were all gone. I've got the broccoli and cauliflower out, and then I've got over here, I had 2 big bowls of salad that I pulled off that I'm going to wash and then freeze. We can use in smoothies and stuff this week. Like I said, I'm going to leave the kale there, but I think here I'm actually going to plant, I have some onion sets left, so I think I'm going to plant some more onions that'll be ready after these guys are. So I'll go ahead and plant the onions here, and then over here I'm going to plant those green beans. So should be a good use of space for the next couple months until I replant the broccoli and cauliflower and then the salad. Time will tell.
So I wanted to show you guys my outfit today. I just bought this necklace on Amazon. Is it not so pretty? I know these kind of paperclip chains are really trendy right now, and then I've seen a lot of people wear these kinds of necklaces on Instagram, and I was really pumped to not spend $100 on one because that was not gonna happen. So I can link it below. And then, whoa, the lighting is changing here. This dress I got at Target, and it was so pretty. I'm just so in cute, flouncy, dressy mode this summer. And so, yeah, I'm assuming it's sold on Amazon, Target, what am I saying? But the only thing is, it creates rolls where there may not be any. Does that make sense? Right here. But I don't know, it's so pretty, I don't really care, and I love this color.
Good morning. It is almost 8 a.m. and Ben and I are going to go mountain biking today. We tried to go mountain biking a couple weeks ago, and I don't know if I told the story. Basically, we got about 1.5 miles in, and the pedal on the bike that I was using fell off, and you couldn't put it back on. That was completely threaded. So we're going to try and do it again. Right, Ben?
Yep.
So the first time we came, pedal fell off. Second time we came, we got here 30 minutes early, and it says that it's closed. So hopefully we can actually, at some point, ride this stupid trail.
I've ridden it a couple.
Yeah, Ben's ridden it several times.
And
but
I tested this bike with the wonky pedals.
The new pedal, yeah. So Hopefully it works. Also, last time I didn't get the GoPro on. I got it on this time. And it was my own fault. I was being dumb. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so maybe I'll get a little bit of footage this time if we actually get to ride it. We'll go see. We are never going to be able to ride this trail. So we waited till 8 a.m. when it said it was going to open because we were going to go at 7:30. It didn't open until 8 when we got here. So we're like, okay, so we'll wait. And then we kept waiting, and then we finally looked on like their Facebook page and it said, we're not open until like 10 a.m. today. So I'm like, ah, crap. So we're going to try and go to another park and maybe ride around there. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Okay, we found a new place and it says it's open. So we're going to go try this one. Hopefully it doesn't suck. Back in the car, all done, all kinds of muddy. We did 8 miles of trail runs or trail bike rides. Ben's really good at it. I am awful at it, but it's fun. I enjoy being out in the woods and stuff, but I swear probably every like 5 minutes I have to catch up to Ben. He'll like sit there and wait for me while I catch up because I'm terrible at it. But hey, like I was telling Ben, I'm like, I might have been terrible at it, but no one can say that I didn't do it.
Oh, cool.
So we just gave Jessica's parents here this painting that was sent to us. A lovely subscriber. She said she wanted a picture of Simba, and I sent one to her, and she painted this and sent it to us. Isn't that amazing?
It's so sweet.
By the way, her name's Emily. Thank you, Emily. And she has an Etsy shop. It's Leo Art Design Shop. So we can link that below.
Yeah.
That was so sweet.
Isn't that so sweet?
Thank you, Emily. It's very
so
cute.
sweet.
Aww,
we were talking about it, and we were like, oh my gosh, I know, we miss him. His bow tie is so cute, but his heels are just so...
Oh, yeah. The tilt of the head is perfect.
Oh, yeah. So sweet.
That's cute.
And his little crooked eyes.
Yeah.
Because they really were.
They really were good.
Oh, that's sweet. Aww.
Okay, so it is... I don't even know what night it is. I'm going to go on a run. It's like, what time is it? 6:30? Almost...
45.
Yeah, almost Gigi's bedtime. So I was like, okay, Tyler, if you can feed her dinner, I'm going to go on a run. So we're going to kind of swap. And then when I get back, I'm going to give her a bath. But that's the plan. It's not as hot as it has been. So we actually went to the park today and brought these 2 little dinglings. It was very fun. It's nice to not have like 100-degree weather.
So tonight for dinner, I am doing asparagus, and I just have olive oil, salt, and pepper in here. And everything's going on the grill, so that's kind of why it's set up this way. So this is going to go in the grill. And then I've got corn that I'm going to put out, and Jessica bought it with the corn husks already off. And so I just put a little butter on it to try and make sure that it doesn't dry out too much. So just brush a little melted butter on it. And then I think when it comes off, I'll put a little bit of salt and paprika, I've heard is really good. So I think I might try that tonight. And then I've got my chicken breast there. My chicken breast is brining. And then once it's done here, I'm actually going to make a barbecue mix with this barbecue sauce and water, and I will baste it as it cooks. And then this back here is all the salad that I pulled off from all the plants that were out there that, like I said, they were starting to flower, so they were about to start getting bitter. So I pulled all the plants out, and this is all the salad that I have left. I washed it all, so we're going to wait till it kind of dries out and then freeze it, and then we'll use it in our smoothies over the next week or so. But it's, I don't know if you can see how much is there. It's a whole, it's a half sheet pan, and it's, it's quite a bit. Okay, the asparagus is already done. The corn is almost done. I'm about to take it off here in just a second. But I've talked about this in a couple different vlogs, but having this, it's barbecue sauce, just Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, and it's half that and half water, and you mix it all together until it becomes a real thin barbecue sauce. And I use it on here, and I baste the chicken over and over again throughout the entire cooking process, and it produces the most delicious, tender, juicy barbecue chicken I have ever had in my life. It is so good. It was a New York Times recipe from, I think, Sam Sifton, and it is so good. It is like my go-to grilled chicken recipe now. Oh, I'll see if I can link it below.
So I think I mentioned in the last vlog, kind of just watching how many calories I'm consuming. And this is kind of my late breakfast slash lunch. So 2 eggs, these 100-calorie English muffins and blueberries. It's without the butter, 300 calories. Not bad. Once you add the butter, it can be anywhere from like 50 to 100, depending on how much. I think I've got probably 75 calories with the butter. Isn't that crazy? Butter. But you know what? I don't want to eat a dry English muffin, okay? But yum, yum, yum. So I'm actually filming in here today, like in this room, clearly. And it's the background, well, minus the Target bag. But I'm really digging it. I had to bring all like my lights down here and stuff, but I think this looked nice. We'll see if it's a lot of work to move the equipment around, but it's not, it takes me 10 minutes. It's not that big of a deal. And I'm trying to like find new spaces to film. So this was a nice little background.
Bacon. Other way.
Are you filming? Are you sure? Oh my God.
We just recorded this whole thing, and it wasn't recording anything. It's been one of those weeks, guys. It's been one of those weeks.
It really has been a weird week, man.
All right,
well.
So we're going to do this super quick now because how much time to do it. I'm glad I checked, though. I'm going well. So.
It's not that we're upset that we had to film it again. It's that we just spent a lot of time filming this and trying to be concise.
So we're sitting here. Jessica had this all set up, and so we're like, well, we'll just film here. So that's why we're filming it.
Yeah, we were saying it feels weird because this is going in the vlog, but it feels very formal.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're going to talk about what books we've read over the past, 6 months or so. We just did all this.
I know. So one other thing we talked about, we're going to share some books we've read. Goodreads. We both use that app to keep track of what we want to read, what we've read. Oh my gosh, you guys. All right. Take 3, marker. Wait, how do they do it?
This is the 3rd time we've done this.
And this was supposed to be like...
It said it's going to take 5 minutes. It'll be super easy. And this is now I feel insane. That's been this week. That has been this week.
This is the definition. So we're refilming this portion.
For the 3rd time.
It seems very formal. It's just for our vlog. Obviously, you're watching our vlog. But we just wanted to share with you guys some books we've read recently. Okay? Simple as that. We use Goodreads, the app. That's my 3rd line reading going.
It's twice we filmed this now. I feel insane.
I can't think of that many fresh jokes. Anyway,
people keep asking about what books we're reading, so we decided we were going to sit down super quick and record the book. We're doing this for 30 minutes, guys. We're talking about the books we've read over the last 6 months. You've read 4 books, but they're 1,000-page books. I've read 14 books, but they're shorter. What else? What else did we talk about?
Goodreads. We use the app.
Private. We don't want to read our Goodreads.
Yeah.
I've done this so many times. Okay. Let's talk about books. These are the books we've read over the last 6 months. So ridiculous. Oh, I'm so tired. Okay.
Hold on, I do have mascara on the top of my eyes.
I swear to God, if there's no sound on this video. Okay.
Wait, Goodreads.
Okay,
So
Goodreads.
we use the app Goodreads. A lot of you guys ask if we'll share it, and we won't.
Why, Jessica? Is it the last stage of privacy? You want to do my lines? I'll do your lines. Jessica said, it's our last extension of privacy, so we actually don't want to share our Goodreads. We keep it private.
Actually, it was your line in the matinee. Oh my gosh.
Okay, let's go.
Do you want me to do your post for you?
Talk about this one.
Bet I can do it better than you.
Go ahead. My first
If you
book
guys
is...
know, if you guys know Tyler, you know he's Rick's biggest fan.
Good, so far.
If you
Talk about his trimesters. Okay, we had the first
okay?
No.
And we're drinking kombucha, by the way, so
It's
it's not
not-
even like...
The first time we did it, I was talking about the 3 periods of his life, and then we were like, oh, we don't have any fresh jokes, and then I said, he has 3 trimesters, and we thought that was hilarious, and now we're talking about it the 3rd time, and none of it's funny, and it's all funny.
Should we even do this?
Okay, we're gonna go quick. Okay, here's my first book. I read this in December of last year. And for those of you that know me, you know that I'm Rick Steve's biggest fan. And real quick, he talks about he has 3 different chapters of his like travel educator career. And his first one was how to catch a flight, how to get a good price on a hotel, things like that. Mm-hmm. The second phase was teaching about European art and history, and the third one now is him teaching basically travel as a philosophy and all that. And
that'll be the end.
So travel as a political act, it just, how to open your mind when you travel and all that kind of stuff. It's one of my all-time favorite books. There's a speech that he did, and I'll link it below, and it's basically this, like in an hour-long format, and it's amazing. But obviously the book is much better because it goes into a lot more detail and all that. So highly recommend. One of my favorite books of all time. I want to read it like every 2 years so I can internalize it and memorize it all. All right, Jess. Your first book for the 3rd time.
I just finished Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, and it's a New York Times bestseller. It's good. I don't think it's for everyone. It was like, I want to say set like 100 years ago, maybe not that far, but sorry, I forgot what I was saying. Maybe 80 years ago. I really don't know. But it's basically a girl that was like abandoned by literally her entire family, like one by one. She was like 8. And had to kind of fend for herself and figure that out, and it just kind of follows through her life. There's a twist at the end. It's a pretty good twist.
Yeah, you told me about it last time. I told her, I was like, I'm never going to read that book.
Yeah, because I don't think he'd like it. And I'm not even
she told me
sure
the
I
twist.
liked it. Like, I liked it. But
It's a good twist at the end.
it's okay. Yeah, it was. It's a good
At least
twist.
the way you told the story. All right, my next one was called L'Appart, and it's like the apartment in French. And this guy, his name's David Leibovitz, and I've read a couple of his books, like My Sweet Life in Paris, I think is what it's called. And it's really interesting. He's an expat who lives in Paris now, but he's lived there for a while, and he was talking about him moving into a new apartment. Moving into a new apartment, and how ridiculous from start to finish his experience was trying to renovate this apartment and how to buy it. It was unreal. It was pretty hysterical, actually. So if you find Paris interesting and you want to learn like how the culture works there, both My Sweet Life in Paris and this, it was unbelievable what he had to go through, and I felt so bad for him. It was really funny though.
Next was, we both read Educated by Tara Westover. All you need to know about it is, I don't know anyone that wouldn't think it's interesting. 5 pages in, you won't be able to put it down. I did that again. I was going to say turn it down. And
turn it off.
You ended up buying like 3 or 4 copies on Amazon and
Just
like
send to our
sending
friends
them.
and
Yeah,
stuff. It was
and
so
like
good.
Emily read it in like 5 days, or maybe even like 3 days, and she's already passed it on. Like it is that good. You'll read the synopsis and be like, no, not for me, which is how I felt. I'm probably how you felt, but
I just kind of randomly picked it because it was
good.
Yeah, it was just available from the library on my Kindle, and I just started reading it, and I'm like,
yeah, it's the best
amazing.
book we both read in a long time.
100%.
Yeah.
So the next one I read was Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, and I know there was a bunch of controversy around Harry Potter and the Cursed Child because people were saying it's not actually J.K. Rowling who wrote it, this, that, and the other. I personally really liked it. I thought the storyline was interesting. I thought like you almost have to think of it as like Harry Potter fan fiction, but it was I really liked it. I was telling Jessica in the matinee performance I talked about how because of our background in theater and stuff like that, we read plays all the time, and this is literally a script. It's not a novel. It is literally a script for a play. And so I think because we read scripts so often, it's kind of second nature. But if you're not used to reading things like that, you're reading stage directions, you're reading, and it's probably part of the reason people didn't like it very much, because it's weird to read if you're not used to reading that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the story I really liked. I thought it was interesting. I think it's non-canonical.
I was already thinking it. Trust me.
But I really liked it.
Yeah. I definitely want to read that. That's on my list.
Yeah, and you'll read it in it's a 3-hour, 5-hour play, so you can read it in a couple hours.
Isn't that you don't have to see it? It's 2 parts though. If you see
I think so. I think it's like 3
5-hour play.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like 5 hours and 5 hours. It's long, but it doesn't
Either
matter.
way. No, I mean like each side, each.
Yeah, each
part
like
is,
half of it is like a couple
hours.
hours. So I don't know, but I don't know how long. I think it's like 3 hours and 3 hours, so maybe it's 6 hours altogether. I don't know.
Gotcha. So I read the first 2.5 books of Game of Thrones. If you've seen Game of Thrones, you'll love it. If you haven't, it's probably going to be confusing. But the one thing I was surprised by was it's easier to read than you think. I thought it'd be kind of heady, and it wasn't. So I really liked it. But honestly, that's what was taking me so long. Like I started reading the first one in September. That one took me a long time because I was in and out of other books. Anyway, so it just takes me a long time, but I'm kind of I was literally halfway through the third one, and I was like, I'm just going to stop and read some other stuff.
Well,
and maybe circle back.
It's so, I mean, they're so long and there's so many of them. Like,
But it's such an epic story. That's why I love it. It's so good. Anyway.
All right, so my next two, I'll go through two here at once. I did A Wrinkle in Time and Of Mice and Men because they're both classics, and I'd never read either of them. I mean, I don't think this is like a classic, but it's still, it's been around for a while.
Yeah.
They're both good. I don't think that, I mean, if you read them, you're going to like them. They're not my favorite books by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, I'm not sure why either of them are like must-reads in school. I feel like there's better books, but they're good. I like both of them. Read them. Fine. Who cares?
If you like Gilmore Girls, I read Lauren Graham's Talking as Fast as I Can, and it kind of goes, it's written by her, and she's just sharing about her life leading up to Gilmore Girls. Then she talks about filming Gilmore Girls. I think she even goes into, I know she goes into Parenthood and the show, which I never saw. Maybe I should watch that. And then she goes into what it was like going back to film more Gilmore Girls for Netflix. And so I loved that part.
Are they doing another
it's an easy
season
read.
of that? Or is that
I think I did read that they might be, but maybe it's just wishful thinking.
This book was amazing. So it's by Doris Kearns Goodwin, and she's like what do they call her? Like the presidential historian, like of all time. Like she knows so much. She's written a ton of books about presidents. Anyway, this was super interesting. It was kind of dry at some points, but it's obviously, it's all about history and stuff like that. But it goes into the life of 4 different presidents and how they led through the turbulent times, whatever it was, whether it was the, like Abraham Lincoln with the Emancipation Proclamation, and then they talk about Theodore Roosevelt, they talk about Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and Lyndon Johnson. And it was really interesting. I learned a lot about U.S. history, and she kind of goes through each one, every couple chapters, and it was really interesting, and I'm super glad that I read that. But if you like American history,
has Michael read that?
I told him to. I don't know if he's read it yet, but
we're zooming with him tonight.
Yeah, this is all about American presidents and leadership. It's really interesting.
Next I read Outlander. I really don't think that's for everyone. There are some parts that I was like reading them. Parts of it are hard to get through. But it is interesting. I had bought the second book and I was like, I'm going to read that too. And then I kind of started and I was like, I don't know. I do want to watch the show. I know there's the show version of it. And I watched like the first episode and I was like, it was good. So I think I'll probably go that route instead of trying to finish the series. Again, the books are like 800 or 900 pages long. It just takes up,
so
and
much.
I don't care enough about the story to keep going.
Yeah, I get that. Mm-hmm. All right, so my next one was called Anthony Bourdain, The Last Interview, and it was just a series of interviews he did over the course of the years. And I mean, that's really all it is. It's literally the transcript of different interviews that he did. It was pretty interesting. Yeah. Glad that I read it. I like Anthony Bourdain, so I thought it was interesting. But if you don't like Anthony Bourdain or don't know anything about him, you probably wouldn't find it very interesting. But
it's the least popular one on Goodreads of what it had it that I had read it on Goodreads. And I was just looking at like your year in review or something like that, and it said the least popular on Goodreads was that one.
I mean, it's just a series of interviews. That's all it is. But
right.
His books are way better because he's an amazing writer. But these are just it was kind of interesting. I'm glad I read it.
Another book I read was Wild by Cheryl Strayed. It's a perfect name for what she does. She strays on there. Anyway, I still have not seen the movie with Reese Witherspoon. Will you watch that with me?
Was it?
Wild.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
You've seen the movie?
Yeah, I watched it when it first came out.
Okay.
We can watch it again, though. I don't really remember.
But anyway, it was good. It was hard to get into, but it was one of those books you think about a lot afterwards. But basically, she sets off to hike the Pacific Crest Trail. She's kind of gone through some stuff in her life and just needs to, like, get away from it and turn off all that noise. And so it's just fun to read. It's interesting, but I do think it takes about half the book to, like, care.
Yeah.
But it was good once I finished it.
I still remember I liked the movie. I don't really remember anything about it, but I remember I liked it. So Walter Isaacson is another very famous biographer. He's done a lot of different books on Leonardo Da Vinci and Einstein and Steve Jobs. So I read Leonardo Da Vinci. This is one that I highly recommend if you... it's very interesting. And the man was unbelievable in all his different facets of his life and what he did. I mean, everyone knows him as a painter and stuff like that, but he was, the science that he did. And I mean, he did... you can't even begin to describe it. He truly was a Renaissance man. He did so many things. He was the definition of a Renaissance man in all forms of the
He created it, probably.
But this is one that I highly recommend getting the physical copy because it's like one in full color because he literally talks about different, the perspective of paintings and all this, and you really need to be able to see the paintings and things while you're doing it. So I would if you're going to talk about all his journals and everything that he wrote down, and so you definitely need to get this in hard copy in color. Otherwise, you'll miss out on that. Yeah, you'll miss out on a lot because he explains things, but you need to see them.
All right, so I'm kind of a historical fiction nerd. Let me rephrase. Historical fiction is definitely my favorite genre. I've realized in my adult life as I've gotten back into reading. The Paris Wife by Paula Mclean, I enjoyed. So The Paris Wife is about Ernest Hemingway. I keep confusing it with another one I read about Zelda Fitzgerald, who's F. Scott Fitzgerald. So if you're into like the 1920s expatriates... No, you should have said, what did Scott Fitzgerald do to you?
I screwed it up. I messed up the joke.
Anyway, it was pretty good. It was kind of this one ended up being a faster read for me. When I read Z, which is like the Zelda Fitzgerald, that one was a slower read. I think I preferred this. But I just like that time period and like all the writers. And they were all just kind of messed up in their own ways and stuff. But this was the wife of Ernest Hemingway. It's interesting. It is interesting.
I also read Gulliver's Travels, and that I should have included that in my classics. That was interesting too, and actually, it's kind of hard to get through. But once you get, my favorite was like the fourth part when he goes with the humans, whatever they have it, and it's like him explaining life in the 1700s and how ridiculous humans are to this other race of horse people. But it's so interesting because he's talking about how the justice system and all this is kind of screwed up, and these people, the doctors and this, that, and how the whole society's messed up, and you're like, well, nothing's changed, and it's 2020, and this that he wrote in the 1700s is still very appropriate to today. So if you read it, you can even just read the last, the part 4 of it. I mean, it's. I'm glad that I read that one.
Yeah. Girl Wash Your Face is a good one. I read that. Rachel Hollis is the author. She's also like on social media and stuff. It is definitely from a Christian angle. So if you're not a Christian, I don't think you'd like it. Because there's definitely themes in there and she brings it up, but it's interesting. She's gotten through a decent amount in her life and just telling a lot of her life story and how she kind of rose up from those ashes, and it's an empowering, inspirational story, and you read it pretty quickly. Yeah. That's what I would say.
The next one I read was called Educated. It's by Tara Westover, and it's the best book I've read in years, and you should read it.
Yes, we talked about that one.
Is there an echo in here?
Yeah, it's so good, you guys.
Okay, for real though, my next one was Time Management Magic by Lee Cockrell. And if you're a Walt Disney World fan, he's now written 4 books. And his original book was called Creating Magic. And this book changed my life more than he would ever know, because this is what started me in, wanting to work in hotels, and then basically how I got to where I am now and to travel and into my career now. So definitely recommend this one. That's super interesting. It talks like behind the scenes stuff, but if you want like a leadership book or a book about hotel management or anything like that, it's really interesting, and Disney behind the scenes. So I definitely recommend this.
He has talked about that book for years. Really did.
That's another one that I bought copies for people, like people that I know that are in a leadership role, because it's common sense leadership strategies that aren't common practice. That's kind of the whole thing. And it completely changed the way, it's part of the reason why I did so well in hotels, and I became a manager relatively quickly because I feel like I followed that book really well, and it taught me how to be a good leader. That's really all it is. But Time Management Magic, that is his one of his newer books. Like I said, he has 4 now, and this is one I just read. It's a really quick read, but it's just about how to keep yourself organized and time management and all that kind of stuff. But he's kind of old school because he's retired now, and he has like a paper day timer. But you can use the things that he talks about in a digital form too. It doesn't really matter, it's not. But Jessica still uses like a paper calendar and stuff like that. So I'm like, Jessica, should read this because
baby,
it's only like 120 pages or something like that. It's pretty short, but he's got a lot of good things there. And you know what? Ever since I've read this, I've gotten a lot better about my time managing my time.
Been, yeah.
Like I'll just, it's worth a read.
I probably will read that. Crazy Rich Asians, very fun read. The movie is great too. Do you read the book too or no? I made you watch the movie with me.
Yeah, I haven't read the book.
The movie was good, right?
It was, yeah. It was
the
really
book
good.
is awesome. It's funny. It's heartwarming. I learned a lot about I want to say Asian because it is a bunch of different countries in Asia, and it's just interesting. It's a fun read. And then really quickly, The Little Book of Hugo. I think I said it right. I've looked it up like 10 times.
Yeah, I know.
But it's basically explaining this idea of why Danish people are so happy. Like, not why, but basically, it's so hard to explain this theory, this idea. I almost don't even want to try.
Read the
book.
book.
The book was a very quick read. There's a ton of books on this, but it's like the idea of cozy and comfort and happiness in your own spaces and what all adds to that. I can't explain it. Anyway.
All right. We have to read it.
Next is...
The next one I read is a little book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving
a... What?
And it was good. I think I had just read Educated, and so coming off of that, I didn't really like it as much because I was
such a
riding
high. Yeah, it's true. That's probably why I feel the way I do about Where the Crawdads Sings. I was at such a high from Educated.
Yeah.
It was hard
and it was
to...
good. I think there was a lot of good advice in there, but I don't know.
Not
it was
life-changing.
Not life-changing, at least for me.
Okay. The next one I did, you also read, The Hate You Give.
Yep.
Wow.
If you read 2 books from our list,
Educated and The Hate You Give.
it is unbelievable. It is so good.
And if you've been trying to educate yourself with, learning about the Black Lives Matter movement, I mean, this isn't about that
This came out a
movement,
couple years ago, but
is.
it's so appropriate for everything going on right now.
Yes, it is. And
it's
you
a
will
good
fly through it. And the movie, of course, is
Yeah.
so good, too. But I think the book's even better.
Well, of course.
Highly
but
recommend.
oh my gosh. And the story itself, she's just such a good writer. This is her first novel. Did you know that?
Jeez Louise. I know
And
she's got another one out.
It's
I'm
so
interested
good.
in reading.
Highly recommend that.
Angie Thomas is her name. So, I've read this one, too.
Yeah, okay. So, this is Secret Stories of Walt Disney World, and actually he has, I think, 2 more out now.
No, he's got like 4.
Does he
literally
well,
has
so
4 or
Jim
5.
Corcus used to work for Disney, and he's like a Disney historian. He has tons of books about the Disney company and all that, but he has books about the Disney parks, and of course that's my job and my passion. Got a passion for thrashing. What does
I don't know,
Zeke
but-
say? Matter.
You also sounded like what's the guy with the hair?
Guy Fieri.
Yeah.
I love Guy Fieri. All right, Jim Corcus, and so this is like, if you know a lot about Walt Disney World and you kind of want to get some like deep stories about like,
And this
the
is
deep
like
history, like
deep, go deeper.
Yeah,
That's this book. It's
and
awesome.
we got the second book, and I read this book like in 2012 or whatever,
too,
when it first came out, 2015, whatever.
I think you bought it for me, and I read it first, and I was like, well, this is the best book ever.
Yeah, and it's super interesting, and I had forgotten so much of it. And so I decided to read this one again, and then we just got the second one. I'm gonna read.
That's the other one I read. Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
we
the
got
one
the
I read
second
most
one.
recently. I need to add that to my Goodreads.
Heck yeah! And then, like I said, the next one is more Secret Stories of Walt Disney World, and then there's another one.
And then it's
so,
like extra
stories of Walt
all
Disney
of the
World.
titles crack me up because it's like the same thing,
but
with
they're
a different
they're
word.
super duper interesting if you like Disney parks.
The
All right, one
Handmaid's Tale, wow. Gone Girl, wow. Big Little Lies, wow. Me Before You,
Are we
wow.
just going back?
I've just been continuing. All 4 of those, Handmaid's Tale is a show, amazing. Gone Girl, I still haven't seen the movie, but the book is a page turner. Big Little Lies, we both loved.
Yeah, that was really good.
The author is Leanne Moriarty has a
Yeah.
really good way of explaining. You want to say this
Well,
because you always
yeah.
say it and it's true.
It's what I loved about that book. The story was interesting and all that, but she is so good about the human mind and the human condition and what people are thinking, and just the way that she described people's thoughts. Was the best part about that book.
It really is.
I
she
mean,
has other books out, and I want to read
I
those
know,
too because I like
yeah.
the way she writes.
Yeah.
But the show Big Little Lies on HBO, wow.
That cast.
Oh, it's so good. I want
Yeah.
to watch it again. And then Me Before You, I haven't seen the movie yet either, but it was good. Not like best book I've ever read, but definitely it was a page turner. Okay.
Yeah. All right, I got 2 more. Uncommon Type, which is Tom Hanks's book of short stories, because the man can do no wrong, and all the stories in it were so good. I'm like, of course he's a great writer too. Highly recommend that book. It's a quick page turner, and again, because they're short stories, they're quick and easy to read. Definitely recommend that. And the audiobook is actually done by Tom Hanks too, so if you want to listen to Tom
That
Hanks reading it,
is even more fun.
because I actually read it on a road trip, and I listened to part of it, and I read part of it, and it's so awesome to hear him read it. Anyway, this is the book I'm reading right now, and I'm like 30 pages from the end. It's Bob Iger's book, and Bob Iger's the CEO of Disney. He was kind of out, now he's kind of back. We'll figure it out. But it was super interesting. Again, kind of the backstory about his career coming up, and the behind the scenes stuff with him and Michael Eisner, and the buying Pixar and buying Marvel and buying Star Wars and all these different things, and the deals and how it worked. He seems like the most down to earth, cool guy. Doesn't seem to be your typical CEO. I mean, he is, obviously he's done very well for himself, but at least according to this book, and it is his own biography, I guess. But it's about leadership lessons, but it's a lot about him, and he just seems like such a genuinely decent person, which you don't see a lot in CEOs. But also you learn a lot about all the crazy stuff that
You
happened
know,
with
Bob
Michael
Iger
Eisner.
has a masterclass, right?
Yes, I did. I saw that.
Masterclass,
Yep, that's
yeah.
on my list to do too. But yeah,
Probably a lot of similar.
definitely recommend
videos.
this one too. It's been very, very interesting.
All right. Wow. Well, that could have been its own video.
It's supposed to be 5 minutes long, and here we are. Maybe I'll upload it in the vlog and it's on separate video. See, make it worth our while.
Just see which sticks.
Just throw it against the wall, see what sticks. So if you watch this as its own video, thanks for watching. If it's part of the vlog, keep watching. There's more to come.
Hey, who's making dinner tonight?
I am. What do we want to make?
Did you one of the HelloFreshes?
Yeah.
That one that's the pasta and the
Yeah,
chicken.
I make that. That sounds really good.
It does sound really good. All right.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye. I love you.
So tonight for dinner, I have made the sesame chicken noodles from Chrissy Teigen's book, Cravings. It is one of our all-time favorites. We make it like every 2 weeks. I cannot recommend it enough. I know we've talked about it a lot because, well, we film one vlog a week and we cook it a lot. So it is really good. I'll try and find the recipe online and link it if she has it online. It is so, so good. Also, I love these plates from IKEA. They make it look like it's just, I mean, it's noodles and chicken and some green onions on top from the garden. And of course I had to throw in the shameless plug that it's from the garden. But I love these plates from IKEA. They're like bowl plates and they were so cheap, but they make everything look so fancy. Like if I got this at a restaurant, I'd be like, yeah, let's go. This looks right to me. So we use these bowl plates all the time. Highly recommend them. They're from IKEA. And now, watching the garden grow. This has been Watching the Garden Grow!
Oh, I feel crazy today. It's like a super rainy day. I got some grocery shopping done, which is good. It looks sponsored by Whole Foods. It is not. That'd be amazing, right? Anyway, but I just Instagrammed about this. Topo Chico. Okay. So if you follow Miss Liz Hart on YouTube, who I freaking adore, she does like a lot of lifestyle stuff. She always talks about this as like a really good carbonated water, like it's fizzier than other ones. And it's just like been her favorite for a while. I saw it and like they had them you could buy them in single format. So I was like, okay, I'm going to buy it and see what the fuss is all about. This is the busiest thing ever. And she was talking about how like when she eats something like pizza, like she loves to have one of these with it because it feels like you're drinking like soda or beer or something, even though it's not. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm digging it. Apparently they sell them on Amazon in like 12 packs because it's kind of hard to find in some stores. If you live in the Midwest, Meijer sells them. Anyway, but I think it's like in the international aisle area, if I'm remembering right. But anyway, apparently you can buy 12 packs on Amazon, but they like sold out when she talked about it in a recent video. So I'm like, dang it. So just saying they're pretty freaking awesome.
Well, good evening. Welcome. What is it? Thursday? Friday? This is Thursday.
I don't know what day it is. Oh, yeah, baby.
Okay. So I made this. It's a new thing. It's just berries. It was blackberries, blueberries, and strawberries, I think, frozen. And it was 1 cup of each of those, 1 cup of plain yogurt, and it should have been vanilla yogurt. We didn't have vanilla. And then like 3 tablespoons of honey. And I just blended it all together. And it's going to be like kind of like frozen yogurt ice cream kind of stuff.
But you did it a few days ago, and we just now remembered it's been in the freezer. We're like, oh yeah, we gotta eat that stuff.
Yeah. And
It
so
looks
I'm going to try.
so good, and we've got some things we can include to make it less healthy.
To make it less healthy, but we're like, I personally, I love ice cream. Ice cream is like my favorite dessert. And
Mine are cookies. Cookies will always be my downfall. Any version.
and so I was like, even if this will be like every other time that I want ice cream, I do something like this instead. Because obviously it's not going to be the same, but
still yummy.
Kind of sensation.
Like sorbet, yeah.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
Very good. Very happy about that.
It was best with chocolate syrup.
Yeah. Also, I think, like I said, I used plain yogurt because we didn't have vanilla, but I'll use vanilla yogurt next time, and I think it'll be even better.
It was
but it's
really
just
good.
berries and yogurt, and it kind of gives you that ice cream fix.
I also, if you like whipped cream, it was good with whipped cream, of course, too. So there you go.
Solid.
It's at least healthier than like if you had ice cream, regular ice cream, and if you were already going to put chocolate syrup and whipped cream on it. At least you're making the base healthier.
Yeah, and I used very little chocolate syrup. I really didn't use hardly any at all. And I didn't even really need it. It was better with it, but I don't think you even needed it.
That's just really because I love chocolate.
Well, yeah, exactly.
But no, it's good on its own. That's all. Who's going to go next? Vampirina? Okay. Poo-poo. Good job, Genevieve. Is she all done? Oh. Good job. We got her this. I asked you guys on, I don't even know what you recommend, and a lot of people recommended this summer infant one that makes like real flushing sounds, Actually, there's a spot for wipes here, which is kind of cool. It's pretty small, but still, I'm like, it's kind of nice. But she has been having a ball having all of her stuffed animals. I don't know. I need to look up like how to do this. I can't even like wrap my brain around trying to potty train her, but I'm like, I mean, obviously we need to eventually do it. She's still really young though, but she talks about it so much. And so I'm like, well, we might as well get the thing and maybe start entertaining the idea of doing it.